You've probably heard it before, Timsler Yaslanmaz, they do and age like we do, but is that true? Let's break it down. Timsler, or crocodiles, are ancient creatures. They've been around for over 200 million years. They lived with dinosaurs, but sometimes the babies, also called hatchlings, need a little extra help making it to the water. You see, after the eggs hatch, the tiny crocs start making their way to the nearest water. But they're super vulnerable during this journey. Hawks, snakes, dogs, turtles, birds, even fish see them as a tasty snack. So how do baby crocodiles protect themselves? Well, they do something pretty sneaky. When they're about to hatch, the baby crocs chirp really loudly. And this chirping does the trick. Turns out adult crocodiles are really protective of their eggs. So once the adults hear those chirps, they come rushing to defend their future hatchlings. And the hatchlings, well, they just chill out, waiting for mom or dad to show up and clear the way. Once the coast is clear, they follow their parents to the water, safe and sound. But not all crocodiles are such attentive parents. For instance, the saltwater crocodiles don't stick around to help their babies. They're more like, okay, you're out there now, figure it out. But hey, at least the hatchlings have their chirps. So next time you hear a baby crocodile chirping, don't just ignore it. They might be asking for some serious help. And somehow, they still here. Now that's where the myth comes in. Some say crocodiles never age. They do and get weak. They do and show signs of getting old. This is partly true, but also misleading. What really happens is called negligible senescence. It means Timsler age very slowly. They do and go gray. Their organs do and break down. Like in humans, they can stay strong and healthy for decades. But that doesn't mean they immortal. Crocodiles still die. They can get diseases. They can starve. They can fight and lose. They just do and die of old age in the typical way. In fact, some species have been known to live over 100 years, but here's the twist: their growth never really stops. The older they get, the bigger they get. A massive crocodile usually means an old one. So when someone says, Timsler Yaslanmaz, what they really mean is, they do and age like us, but time still catches up eventually. People often say crocodiles can't be stressed out. Turns out they totally can, just like us. Timsa can experience stress, but their coping mechanisms are different than ours when faced with danger. Timsa release all kinds of chemicals into their bloodstream, chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline, but their bodies process these chemicals differently than humans. Their bodies are just built differently. They do and suffer the same consequences we do. Crocodiles have a reputation for being emotionless reptiles, but turns out they're way more complex than that. They form social bonds, help each other out, and even get jealous. You've probably heard the saying, don't cry over spilled milk. Well, for crocodiles, it's more like, don't cry over spilled blood. When a croc cries, it's not because it's sad. It's because it's in pain. Crying could be their way of releasing stress, kind of like how humans cry when they're really stressed out. But instead of tears, crocodiles release these salty, watery eyes. And you'd think it would make them feel better, right? Well, not exactly. Crocodile tears aren't all that different from human tears. They have similar chemical makeup, mostly water and salts, but also a bunch of other stuff. Scientists even found proteins similar to those in human tears. So why do they do it? Well, crying might help them relieve some of that built-up stress. It's like a pressure valve. Relieving stress might help them calm down, and it seems to help with healing, too. But don't feel too bad for them. Even with their fancy tear ducts, crocodiles can still be grumpy. Sometimes they just want to chomp stuff, and nothing's gonna stop them from doing that. So if you see a croc shedding some tears, don't rush in to comfort them. You might end up on their menu. Crocodiles are surprisingly good parents. Especially the American crocodiles. They protect their eggs and watch over their babies until they're ready to take on the world.